I don't know how it happened, but March 30th, 1990 had 2 puzzle games that involved shoving balls around. I'm starting with Rock Hora Hora, which has a completely insane cover. The US version is much more normal. Rock Hora Hora was developed by Cream, a developer who so far has given the PC Engine the terrible boxing game Bullfight Ring no Hasha, and whose later PC Engine titles don't give me a whole lot of hope for improvement. The Hora Hora part of the title is just a cry to get somebody's attention, though I also think it's punning a little bit on horror. So if you wanted to render it in English, you could go with something like Drop Rock, Hey, Scary. The plot of the game is given in a cutscene when you start it up, and that cutscene is entirely in English. In fact, the only thing in Japanese in Drop Rock is the title screen. Takashi is concerned about his girlfriend Izumi, as she's fallen into a deep sleep and can't be awoken. And for some reason they haven't taken her to a hospital. One night while he's sleeping, he's visited by a muse who tells him that the woman is trapped in a dream. What does that dream consist of? Well, objects very slowly dropping from the top of the screen, and a ball bouncing into them to destroy them. Yeah, the actual game is fairly abstract, so the disconnect between the story and gameplay is really extreme. The goal on every level, except the final one, is to endure it until the end. You're controlling that sphere, and it can move freely around the screen. You're not just bound to the bottom of it. At the start of the stage, or after you lose a life, then you'll launch a little ball up, and this ball will destroy the items that are slowly dropping from the top of the screen. If your ball comes into contact with them, then you lose a life. Similarly, if the ball goes off the bottom of the screen, you lose a life. So basically, you're trying to keep the ball in play while cutting a path through to the end of the level. When your ball is solid blue, the little ball will get bounced upward at a fairly steep angle, and if you press button 2, then it opens up to be partially orange, and then when you bounce the little ball, it goes up at a shallow angle. That's actually one of my major complaints here. Bouncing the ball doesn't work in a way that makes sense. There's only 4 directions that you can reflect it at, and when it strikes something, it doesn't retain its momentum. So striking an object from a side could send it flying back down. One of the joys of the breakout style game is getting a good shot through a gap and then watching the ball chew through the terrain, and that's missing in Drop Rock. Since the direction it gets reflected always depends on the point that it hits, rather than the direction the ball was moving, a lot of the time it'll just head right back down. And while there could be Zen Master Drop Rock players out there, for most people, the effect is essentially going to be random. Those objects are moving down the screen. You're not going to have that fine of control. And fine control is another issue in Drop Rock. You move in a lot bigger steps than it seems, so if you're trying to rescue a ball that's passing near an object, it's very likely that you're going to run into the object because you move too far and too fast. Conveniently, the ball doesn't just drop off the bottom of the screen. On some stages, there's a permanent backing wall. On others, there's blocks that will change color as they get hit. They'll vanish after being struck 4 times, and that will leave a hole behind where the ball can pass through. There's one other small problem with missing the little ball. After it bounces off the backstop, it'll turn red, and while it will keep going, you won't get any points for anything it strikes. Of course, getting enough points will earn you an extra life, so in general, you're better off hitting the ball back, even if you can't lose by having it go behind you. If you manage to strike the ball 15 times consecutively without it hitting the backstop, then a road roller appears. The roller goes along the bottom of the screen, and it repairs bricks in the backstop by 1 level. You have one more ability that can help you out. When you press button 1, then everything goes back up, about half a screen. You can use this ability 3 times per stage, and you can recharge the ability by hitting the capsules with arrows on them as they fall towards you. If they're still stuck in the formation when you hit them, then you get nothing. Also, the capsules will kill you if they strike you while falling, so you'll want to stay out of their way anyways. The objects that you're smashing have to be supported from above, and that means knocking out the pieces above them will cause everything below to fall. Most of the time, they'll change into some damaged form, and that won't hurt you. And if you drop a large number at the same time, then they'll change into something special, and those won't hurt you. But sometimes, at random, they won't change at all. They'll just fall in their regular state, and that will kill you. When you get to the top of a stage, after about 2 minutes, you'll find the vines that everything has been clinging to, and if you can knock out the top pieces, then you'll get some bonus points. There are a couple more power-ups that you can get by hitting them with the little ball. You don't have to catch these while they're falling. The hourglass will freeze the stack in place for about 5 seconds. That's fine. It's not really required. It just gives you a little more breathing room. The really good one is I think it's a ball of yarn with a needle. It turns the little ball yellow, and then it just passes through objects, destroying them. The little ball retains this property until it hits the backstop, and that means if you get that power-up, you can clear out the entire stage very quickly. There are 5 rounds with 3 stages each, though the differences between the rounds are so negligible, I don't know why they broke it up that way. And then if you clear those, there's a 16th stage where you'll face a boss and have to deflect the ball into it while dodging the boss's attacks. Beat it, and you've won the game. I struggled to find anybody with something to say about Drop Rock. It's a game that doesn't seem to have made a big impression. The one person I found who had something more to say than "I played this game that exists" was a blogger who considered it an example of a creatively bad game. I actually had some high hopes going into Drop Rock. Mixing up Arkanoid with Bust-a-Move? I'll take that. And then I played it, and it didn't have any of the good parts of Arkanoid, and it didn't have any of the good parts of Bust-a-Move. The random elements mean you don't have any control of where you're aiming, you can't get big chain reactions going, and the power-ups are so rare they might as well not even be in the game. And sometimes the game will just change its behavior at random to try to kill you. Rock Hora Hora is a terrible implementation of a great idea. I'm half tempted to see if I could implement this concept myself in something like Godot. It's too good of an idea to leave it trapped in this bad game.